Connelly with the double biceps and the very serious introduction never trying to get going here. The instant laugh as soon as it goes to the 3, 2, 1 countdown. But we've got the co-host, the co-founder, the co-wearer of clothes, the co-breather of air in this very room. It is none other than the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is the Siberian bull. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is your friend and mine. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. It is the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious spirit. It is none other than Dave Stockbridge.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome. As always, Hollywood Matt Connelly, it's a joy to be with you here on Arm Wrestling tonight. We've had a hiatus of a couple of nights. It's great to be back and on screen with you one more time. And of course, it is wonderful to be on screen with the man who is down the bottom of the screen right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him very well. He's this young arm wrestler. He's trying to make his way. He's doing some bits and pieces on social media. I'm sure you're going to notice him soon. He's got some opinions on some controversial topics. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ryan Bowen.
Hey,
what's going on? What's going on, fellas? I swear Dave's intro is getting longer. The last time I was on the show, it's the best intro.
It is. They've added a few more in there now.
No, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed, Matt, that you locked that down in your memory. That's long. That's very impressive.
I had to not look at Dave when I do it now because he does all these crazy actions whenever I read out certain words, and it throws me every time. The Thunderlips one, he goes like that, and it just I can't look at it.
That's God. Anyway, thank you for having me on. Good to see you guys.
Oh, wonderful to see you once again. It feels like it's been a little while, and it's been wonderful seeing your training videos. You're getting stronger, you're getting leaner, you're looking more and more like a bodybuilder every time I jump on a Facebook or Instagram. You're looking in very, very good form. What are you weighing at the moment, and how are you feeling about things?
This morning, 94.5 kilos. I'm enjoying being in the gym at the moment. I'm training in a very different sense to what I've classically trained over the 13 years. So it's nice when you get a fresh approach, you start to get some quicker adaptation going on. And I had a body scan done just last week, and I was 14.2% body fat. So that's the lowest I've been in a long, long, long time. So we're headed in the right direction.
That's incredible. And what a turnaround over the last 3 or 4 years as well. You know, from just arm wrestling specific movements, then into the compound movements, and now you're doing more of that bodybuilder style training and powerlifting and training parts of the body you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, I'm getting excited about doing basic lifts. Like the numbers for me mean a lot, and I'm celebrating them. Then I'm having my powerlifter friends tell me, like, Ryan, that's actually still very light what you're lifting there. Just so you know, like I did a PR the other day, 175 kilo deadlift, which was a 15 kilo PR for me on what I did back when I was training with randomly doing deadlifts myself. And now getting some better movement patterns and all that sort of stuff. 175 was smooth, and I was really proud and wanting to post it, say, check out my PR, and everyone's like, yeah, for your weight and size, you should probably be at like 230 or something like that to call it good. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'll keep going. I'll be patient.
Well, you're enjoying the journey though. You step by step.
Yeah.
Have you got specific goals? Like, have you got a bench that you want to now get to, or a deadlift, or are you just
No, I'm not chasing powerlifting in any competitive sense, but I'm using powerlifting to create a bigger base for ultimately my arm wrestling specifics. So I tend to believe that arm wrestling specifics reach a ceiling after a certain amount of time, and one of the best ways to lift that ceiling is to just increase your base power across the board. So I'm doing it with that intent. I won't, once I start to reach my I guess natural ceiling and things start to become really difficult, you won't see me pushing really hard and risking injury under heavy benches or anything like that. No, I'm an arm wrestler, and that's my biggest focus. I'm just using the powerlifting sort of foundations to lift my base power.
You have been talking about trying to make your mark at 85 kilos thereabouts. Is now the ambition just to float up a little bit more, or are you still
Well, I like
intending
the
to?
94.5 kilos this morning, 14% body fat. So I'm at the moment, my nutrition is still in a manner where I'm hoping to continue to reduce body fat. I tend to put on 1.5 kilos of lean muscle a year on average. So I think I've got about 4 or 5 kilos of body fat still that I can lose without starting to get too low where it affects my energy levels. So I think that you're going to see me over the next 6 to 12 months walking around somewhere between 94 and 90, and then a water cut is certainly possible to 85 from that way. So and I would do that for the big matches, for the big moments. But if you see me in like a tournament where it's just more gathering experience and just getting work on the arm, I'll probably compete at 90 or even 95. But for a big super match, that's still a long-term future, I think, for me.
Fantastic. Of course, we've got the 85 kilo event coming up in just a matter of less than 2 weeks' time now, 23rd of March, and some big names as well as some emerging names. So some that you're going to be very familiar with. You've shared the table with over recent times, and others are going to will potentially be surprise packets. So we're going to run through that list. Josh Barker has already requested a prediction from you with respect to the event, so he was one step ahead of us on this occasion. So let's perhaps bring up the list. Now we will just share with the world, of course, Guy Thanapat was the arm wrestling sensation from Thailand at 350,000 TikTok followers, huge following on Instagram, nearly 220,000 followers there. He was to be here and competing in this event, was very much looking forward to it, and right up until just a few short days ago was preparing for the event, but got the sad news that his visa's been declined, and we're still working through that situation, but it does appear that there's not going to be any way to work our way through that red tape in time for the event. So we have a replacement in the form of Nick Velas. So we'll talk a little bit about Nick, and there's some stories to share in just a few moments' time. But let's run through some of those names that you may be more familiar with. And let's start from the top, Josh Barker. So Josh has already disclosed to us here on the podcast that he will be in his biggest and baddest shape ever. He is making that step from 70 kilos to 85. He is going to be 85 kilos on the day.
Get out of it. Josh Barker's going to be 85. Oh,
I think he's at 70. He's at 79 at the moment, currently, I believe.
79.
Okay, all right. That's a really interesting factor because I've gripped the 70 kilo Josh Barker, and he comes down on you like a ton of bricks. He gets his shoulder behind it. He's fast too. But I can't even. I don't know. That sounds really scary. At 85 kilo Josh Barker.
Did you notice when you got bigger, because it wasn't that long ago that you were around 110 kilos yourself?
Yeah.
When you got bigger, did you lose some speed though?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I was slower, but I felt ultimately I felt better. You put back then I would have said the 108 kilo version of me would smoke the 90 kilo version of me. But now that I'm the 94 kilo version, I feel like I could beat the 108. I don't know. So it definitely does slow down, but the power goes up for sure. Like you'll see that in the gym and everything. You bench press. I saw Josh Barker bench pressing 145 kilos, and it flew up just a couple of days ago. So yeah, here he is, Josh Barker, taking on a 150 kilo man, Tyson Bryce from Queensland. And I can't remember what happens here, but I reckon it's going to be over quickly if it's got Josh Barker.
Yes, it is.
150 kilos, and Tyson has a brutal top roll too. Like, and this is what 70 kilo Josh Barker.
Yep.
Let's see. Here it comes. Don't blink.
There it is.
There you go.
The second bite of the cherry got him through.
That's what Josh can do. He can cut people off. Like, I think the only people that are going to scare Josh Barker are the guys that are welcoming him coming inside. The Taron Broads, dare I say it, that new recruit that faced
Big
the
fella.
Triple H guy. He looks like he's an inside puller, and I heard that he's pinning Brett Coots in training, so that sounds scary.
Yeah.
But Josh is someone that, if you are at all hesitant against, if you are at all afraid of his press, then he will punish you. He's a painful man to arm wrestle. He will hurt you. Even if you beat him, he will hurt you. That's what it's like.
Is the tongue a factor? Is it?
Is the tongue? Well, it is for Jerry Cataret. It's clearly a presser's accessory lift that they do in the gym.
Yeah.
It's clearly if you're a presser at the gym, you're doing tongue reps somewhere.
Yeah.
So
There's tongue time.
I think so. Look. I'm going to say Josh Barker is a very, very dangerous man at 85 kilos in this. I would be not surprised if he wins it. I would depending on the draw, he has to be one of the favorites in my eyes.
And the rumor is with Josh that although he's about 15 kilos heavier, his the lower part of his body, his legs are actually weighing 7 kilos less. So there's a net gain of about 22 kilos in just the forearms alone. So this is going to be an extraordinary version of Josh Barker.
Yeah, I think so. That's exciting. I'm excited to see what that version of Josh does. That sounds dangerous.
It certainly does. And Taron Broad has been nominally seeded number 1 by Chief Seeder. Well, that's Hollywood Matt Connelly. Taron Broad has obviously been at he's been at the pointy end, even with the heavyweights and the super heavyweights, and being considered amongst the top 10 or dozen in the country, regardless of weight category for some time. And you would imagine that at 85 kilos, this is his weight category. He is a small heavyweight or super heavyweight, but he is a giant 85 kilo competitor. He's had some back and forths with Josh Barker over the years, and generally speaking, come out on top. So, he hasn't come across an 85 kilo version of Josh Barker.
He deserves to be the top seed. I think Taron's inside pulling strength is I think it's at the world level for that weight. I don't think I've ever faced Taron in a ready go in a formal tournament, but I've gripped him plenty of times in training, and I know that when I go inside with him, it's an absolute screamer, and I have to defend with my life on the line, sort of thing. Like he's really, really, really strong. He's someone that I think can potentially catch Josh Barker's press, but Taron's weakness for me is I don't know that he handles the pressure of being the favorite so well. I think I think a Grand Prix, an AWE Grand Prix, is a lot of pressure. It's the big stage and everyone's watching, and I think he is going to have to really focus on his mental side of things and just trust his strength, trust his hand, and really get into the match. But yeah, you can see that these two guys here have had wars. They've had absolute wars. Josh Barker there with the hand control, but you can see the bicep strength of Taron. He refuses. He refuses to let go, and it is hard to finish Taron once he gets his arm involved. It's hard. But there's Josh getting the win. Taron, who won that super match there?
Taron White.
Taron comes back. Taron comes back and beats Josh. There you go. Let's see how he does it.
I think that this was Josh almost having the ability to win, but it looked like he was hesitant between which technique he wanted to blast through.
Taron bringing out a top roll there, a surprise top roll on Josh, caught Josh unawares, and so that shows you that Taron's got variation, and he will use instinct to change shape in the match as well. And in the straps there, you can see the side pressure. Obviously, there was enough that it fatigued Josh's ability to press, and in the strap, it was kind of neutralized from all that back pressure that Taron's got. But those two guys, wouldn't expect. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the final right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me bring up the list of competitors again.
It looks like Triple H there.
Interviewing. How do we get Triple H to come down? That was cool.
That was incredible. Taron, for my mind, I mean, he's. I completely share your sentiments there. I feel like he deserves to be the favorite. Does he feel he deserves to be that favorite? And how is he going to handle that pressure as he comes into the event? I'd like to think also that Taron's really matured over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, we had Taron on the podcast recently, and it was really a different version of Taron than we would have seen 2 or 3 years ago. He's certainly done a lot of maturing within himself, and I'm very, very hopeful that that translates onto the table for him on the 23rd. As much as we love Josh Barker, I feel like this is Taron's opportunity to really prove to everybody that when it comes to being under 100 kilos, he is the man. So, and this is very much his chance to do so. Of course, SK has been a favourite here at AWE for some time as well, and he walked away with a whole ton of prize money from AWET series in Queensland just a year and a bit ago now. Have we got any intel on SK's form coming into this matchup?
Yeah. SK, one of he's obviously from the local Brisbane clubs, but he really learned his craft in South Korea. SK represents that nation really well. And Seongkook Park is his actual name. We call him SK, but he is one of those guys that he's never been the dude. He's never been the top dude, but he's the dude that will wreck the day of the top dude. And when you come across a guy like SK in a draw, you just think, oh, why did I get SK? Like, for goodness sake, like SK will tie people up. He's quick. He's resilient in his elbow. He won't die easily, SK. I don't see him as a short odds favourite to win it. But for SK to win the tournament, I think the draw would have to go his way, and he would need Taron and that to really get in a battle somewhere. But SK's got a very intelligent arm wrestler. He can top roll, he can hook, he can press, he can do everything. And he's a slow burn when it comes to his improvement. He's a very quiet, very respectful man, and keeps to himself at training. But every 6 months, you grip up with SK and you go, "Oh damn, he's stronger again!" Like, so, he's a bit of a sleeper. He may just have made it to that level now without us being aware of it. So you can see him here against Jamie Barrett. I think these guys had a war that Jamie threw the early pin there. Jamie, of course, the national champ at 70 kilos last year, I think it was, at the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation Championships. But Jamie, the number one junior at his weight, and here we go. This is still a classic SK here. He gets tight in the hook and sinks that down. Once his rotation starts getting in, you can see too much rotation there for Jamie, and SK really has that coil, and if he gets onto there, he's all in. You can see that he's testing for pressures. Great battle. Really good battle. But this is the sort of thing, how I said, it'll wreck your day. If you get tied up with SK like this, your day's over. You're not winning the tournament if this happens to you.
Yes.
And it very much is the nature of the type of tournament. This isn't a super match. He won't. These athletes won't really have the opportunity to make the big adjustments that you might in a super match format. They're not necessarily walking straight back into a round with the same competitor. And there is always that X factor around what's happened in the previous rounds. We saw that at our last Grand Prix event with Marcus Chirai and Charles Puri getting into an absolute war, much to the delight of everybody else that was competing against them afterwards. And very much the same thing could happen. And in this case, we do have ourselves a new X factor in Nick Vella, and we just don't know how that X factor is going to play out, and where he's seated might well be a gift to somebody like SK, or could ruin the day of somebody like Taron Broad.
What is Nick Vella seated? Can I ask? Do we know?
I haven't released the settings yet.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, because he is someone that could wreck the day of a top seed. We don't know how good this guy is, but so he's clearly not going to be in the top half of the seeds, but you just got the sense that this dude's really strong. And yeah, it's like you can be the top seed and you can expect to get the easy guy first, and he can be unknown like Nick is, and then you can just get stuck on a bicep and you just say, what the hell is this? Like, why am I working this hard against this unknown dude? But some guys turn up like that, and they may gas out by their second round. So like you said, I think Nick is the wrecking ball of this tournament. Nick won't win it. I'm sure Nick won't win it. If he's good enough to win it in his debut, then he's a freak against this crop of athletes. But I see Nick as the absolute TNT of this tournament. He will wreck multiple people back. Yeah. This man will ruin. He will send people home really upset. If you're on his half of the draw, you're not winning.
Is Nick Vella the 85 kilo Rickett Borman of a year or so ago? This is the question. So, just for those people at home, I understand that is not a weight belt around his waist. This is his work belt. He is working on site. This is not a gym pump. This is just him at work, ladies and gentlemen. This is an impromptu photo that was taken for our benefit to show us who this man is, and he is walking around the streets of Melbourne right now at 86 kilos.
Making all look small.
Making weight will not be a problem for this 85 kilo gorilla. Look at him. It's
like I said, he could genuinely wreck anyone's day, including Karen Broad, including Josh Barker. He could ruin their day so easily, and that might be, like you said, that might be exactly what an SK needs, just for this guy to wreck Taryn and then SK to come through and clean it up. This is why the Grand Prix is so good.
And so how all of this came about, of course, was just a few our regular viewers might remember recently we had Brett Coots and Rickett Borman on to discuss their upcoming matchup at the Grand Prix event, and on left hand, that's for the AWE left arm heavyweight title, by the way. So there will be a belt on the line that they will be competing for, and in the post podcast chat off air, we were just talking about who's competing and who's likely to walk away with the chocolates, and Brett just quietly said, so you know what, there's this guy from my club who I gave a little bit too much to the other day, and he pinned me. And it's like, well, tell us more. And he said he's 85 kilos, and so this guy is a beast. And he's probably lucky that he's not in the tournament. He'll probably just destroy everyone. It's like, oh, okay. And anyway, it's just a matter of a few days ago, as we described at the top of the podcast, Guy Tunaput shared the news that he won't be able to make it over here. And so the next message was to Brett Coots is Nick keen to be in Adelaide on the 23rd of March? And the photograph that you see on the screen is what I received, and this is so is Nick Vella the 85 kilo Rickett Borman? We are about to find out, and that's the exciting thing about AWE in particular. This is where the emerging talent comes to prove themselves to the rest of the world, and it's the platform that these athletes can springboard from in order to make their mark on the arm wrestling world. So very, very exciting. But of course, there are still a few names to go through here, and Jacob Tuxworth, we must talk about Jacob Tuxworth. This man is improving by the second, so much in the same way as SK is a quiet achiever, but he's also been walking away with some gongs recently, and he is he's a different man from even just a year or so ago. He has continued to sharpen his sword, and by all reports and everybody that I've spoken to that's gripped up with him over recent times says that this is a different Jacob's Tuxworth to what we would be familiar with. And Jacob has been a fixture at AWE events, but to know that he has been improving on that trajectory is it's quite the revelation, but at the same time, he is his own X factor coming into this event.
Yeah. Well, there's Matt Connelly getting first-hand experience with Jacob Tuxworth. How did he feel, Matt?
Yeah, he was very explosive. He let me in on the second round as well, like just so I had a chance, which was nice of him. But here, here he was waiting for me to breathe. It was like, God damn it, that was no one does that normally.
Well,
Very
yeah,
funny.
I would say of Jacob Tuxworth that he is similar to SK in the sense that he's a quiet man, very consistent. If you get the opportunity to ask Jacob what are his goals, he wants to be world elite. And so I always believe that it is someone's goals that really determines the seriousness of their trajectory within the sport. And he has said that goal to me every time I've asked him for the last 3 years. So, and his work ethic and his training reflects that of someone chasing that goal. So, don't at all underestimate Jacob Tuxworth. He's a very good arm wrestler. I in fact had a super match with him, just a training super match with him maybe 6 months ago. He messaged me and we chatted a bit, and I said, "Yeah, man, you want to?" We will have let's have a left and a right, and he smoked me on left, and I beat him on right. But in round one I didn't muck around because I was nervous. I was like, he feels dangerous, and I went for it and got a decisive pin. And then round two, I thought I'm gonna let him work a little bit, see what he feels like. And when I let him work, I thought, oh, okay, hang on a second. I really need to I need to go now, because if I hang around here for 5 more seconds, my hand's going to be gone and I'm not going to be able to pin him. So Jacob's top roll game is very, very technical, very proficient. He's one of those guys that, again, quietly always improving, and has big ambitions. He went to the East vs West qualifier. I think he got. I think he beat the British. He beat not Kevin Peterson. That's the cricketer. Kevin someone or other from the UK. That is was the UK's number one for that same weight class. So he's on the right track. So yeah, Jacobs again. I don't see him as the favourite, given Taryn and Giant Josh Barker are in the mix. But I see Jacob as one of those dudes that if old mate Wrecking Ball wrecks someone's day, he'll clean up the scraps real quick.
Wow. Okay. So we got a pretty stacked top four there. We got Marty Penfold, who is a local lad. He's making his AWE debut, and Matt does train with Matt. So they're at the SA Titans, and so here is a super match. With Marty up against Grant Law, who's a favourite here on the podcast. He's appeared on several occasions. Grant seems to be complaining that there is something wrong with his hand, and that's why he lost that one. As it turns out, it was not just the hand; it was the wrist and the elbow and the bicep. They were all factors there. By the looks of things, Marty just holding on to him, and
Marty looks a bit to me like a slightly more bulked up Mindaugas Tarasitis from that side profile from Lithuania. So I don't know where if he's got some Eastern European blood in him, maybe. But if he does, that's a good thing, because it's a good arm wrestling region of the world. So making your debut is always an exciting time. He'll have a tough draw, no doubt. He'll have a tough draw being on the debut side of things, but you never know. He could be one of those people that causes problems, but wish him well. I've never gripped him, so I don't know what he's bringing.
Well, Matt has, and was on the table just a matter of a couple of weeks ago, and that's what led to the call up. And so, Matt, what are your impressions here?
Yeah, let me bring up this video here. It'll just take me a second to load it. But yeah, he's getting stronger all the time. He was sitting right at that. He was talking about the tournament that's going to be following the Grand Prix, the Titans tournament, with the under 80 kilo class. And he's like, I said, oh, look, I'm weighing at 82, 83 at the moment. Should I just step down and just clean up the 80 kilo class? And I was like, well, it's up to you, if you want to do it. And then I was thinking later that day, because we had somebody pull out, and I was like, man, I think Marty would actually do pretty well in this. So Yeah, I offered him the opportunity. He was a little bit hesitant to start with because he thought, well, I'm not at that level yet. And I'm like, look, you never know what's going to happen in a tournament. So somebody might get into a war, and then you clean up and move through and beat some people that you've never even had the opportunity to get on the table with before.
Yeah, exactly. And that again, it's the format. This is not a super match. Anything can happen. There can be a Stephen Bradbury moment for one of these athletes where they're able to burst through the field because the others have just
take it as, what was it, AWE Underground? Hang on. AWE Underground or something, where our 8th seed Andy Boskovsky ended up finishing 3rd or something like that. So it shows you that the 8th seed can pull it off, and 8th, he almost beat Matteo Rangi at the Morris that day, if you remember.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
right.
the Grand Prix does bring out. Yeah, the Grand Prix brings out good performances from everyone across the whole 8, man.
So
there's some open arm hooking from Connelly there.
Yeah.
Reuben Jennings is also one of the names making his not his debut at AWE, because we've seen him at T-Series events, but this is first time at a Grand Prix event, and very excited to see Reuben on the table.
Reuben is a different kind of threat in this tournament. The other guys that we're talking about as Wrecking Ball, they're all get in and be strong and get you tied up in a hook. Reuben is bringing a sniper rifle to this tournament. If anyone is going to win this tournament from a random outside position, it's Reuben Jennings. Here he is on the left. Reuben Jennings is the tallest man, I have no doubt, in the draw. Yeah, he makes a habit of busting people's wrists back off the go. Very, very impressive puller. He's super dangerous. He is really, really dangerous to everybody in the draw, especially if they've had some work in their hand, because Reuben's like the Vitaly Laletin of this 8-man draw. He will win the high ground on everyone, and everyone needs to know how to deal with it. You can see him on left arm taking control of that high ground against the what will be the number 1 seed. Look at this. Reuben Jennings against our number 1 seed on the left here back in the tournament. Shows you exactly how dangerous he is. Taryn working his ass off, wrist gone, and there's the pin. Look at that. So Reuben Jennings, watch out for him. Oh, against Jacob Tugsworth now. Look at that. See you later, like butter. He's a tournament puller. He's a tournament puller. This will suit him. He will love sitting back. He will get quick victories. He won't get in wars. If he gets tied up, he'll just let it go. He'll come back and fire another sniper rifle shot at people up top. And look, if anyone is going to win it from the bottom half of the draw, it's Reuben Jennings.
All right, I'm going to call out to the comments now. One, we're going to go through the comments, and number 2, whilst we're going through the comments, anybody who's in the chat right now, please let us know who is your top 3. Who do you think will be our top 3 athletes? How would you seed them in the top 3? We're very, very keen to find out. So, Matt, I'll leave it to you to sift through the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just saw this one here from Josh Barker, who says that long arms are easy to press, obviously referring to Reuben Jennings.
Yes, style big matches. Reuben wants to avoid Josh at all costs.
Absolutely. French McGee, the Siren, has won the race against the Drew tonight. And Drew not even showing up. I mean, he must be asleep or something. But one of his clones wasn't able to make coverage to cover the show. Procrastinator is also here as well. Taryn Broad, who will be in the AWE Grand Prix 3 as the number 1 seed, says that Ryan is aging. Ryan's aging in reverse. It's what's that?
I'll be in the WAF sub juniors soon. That's the plan.
Well, our junior belt has been vacated, by the way, so there is a chance.
Here we go. Just give me a few more months, and I'll call out Duvan Bournemouth.
That'd be amazing.
I'm just gonna show this. This has just come through. So this is This is just giving you a little sneak peek as to what the AWE middleweight belt is going to look like. So that is now on its way. So our little metalsmiths are just chiseling away, and that'll be with us very, very soon. So very exciting.
Alrighty. Terrence Opperman says hi. Hello to you, Terrence. Always good to see you in here. We did cover this question from Procrastinator. Ryan, are you planning to stick at 85 kilos? We sort of went over that one as it was here. Prediction for the AWE 3 Grand Prix from Ryan.
For me to give a prediction, I need to know the seeds. You going to give them away yet, Matt? Or what's the... I can give you a prediction if I know the seeds. If I don't know the seeds, I'm saying... If I don't know the seeds, I'm saying it's most likely a Taryn Broad, Josh Barker final with Ruben Jennings coming third.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
It is interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. We'll stick with that. That's fine. Taryn, and for hearing the news about going 10 event right now, unfortunately, yes, his visa was denied, which is frustrating. Yeah.
Apparently because of associations with the guy in Adelaide going by the name Dankius. So that just didn't... Apparently that's where he was meant to be staying, and when he got here in Adelaide, and there were some red flags that came up at immigration. So can't do much about it.
Meme game too strong. Politician Vavoda says that he would beat Barker in a match. I'm guessing that's one of the guys from the Sydney Spartans club there. This is Josh says, yes, I finally get to go against people sort of my body weight. My body doesn't want to be this big though.
So we're going to see that extended stomach version of Josh, where he's forced so much food in that he's just bloated. I've competed like that a couple of times in my life, and I actually felt really powerful. So I think Josh will enjoy it. Although it's uncomfortable forcing that much extra weight on your frame, you'll probably just be like, oh my goodness, my elbow doesn't even hurt when I press at all. You'll feel like a tank. So
you have mentioned that on a few occasions, Ryan, where you feel stronger when you're fat. So
yeah, I did. I pain-free in my arm and elbow when I was fat. It was what I remember. The big Josh is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm almost tempted to say Big Josh is the favorite. Like, I don't know, but I respect Taryn's game too much to say that. But the Big Josh factor is a very big effect on the game, I think.
Yeah,
is Big Josh, Slow Josh? We don't know. These are there's so many variables here. So many variables.
That's right. Grant Law has said that it will be a tough tournament for Marty, but it'll be very good for him too. He has nothing to lose and destined for greatnts. Absolutely good for.
Sounds like Grant Law is just throwing Marty under the bus already, writing him off. I don't know.
That's right. Well, French wants to see.
I think Grant Law wants revenge in a super match by the sound of
that. Absolutely. What have we got here? A siren. French McGee says, if Nick Vella is Maltese, I'll have to cheer for him for national pride. I don't actually know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, with a name like Vella, it's likely. He's Brett Coots. Yeah.
They only have three surnames in Malta, so Vella's one of them. And there's about 7 people that live there, so there's a chance.
It could be. Brett Coots has said, if it goes inside, my money is on Nick Vella over everyone.
Brett, if you're still there, Brett, does Nick have the endurance to go in the hook through an 8-man tournament? Like in a one-on-one, I can understand that, but if he's new, does he have the legs on him to do it 4 times in a row, 4 matches in a row? That's my question, Brett.
Absolutely.
That's why I tend to see that in you guys. They'll be super strong against their poor, unfortunate first opponent, but their second one gets an 80% version of them. The third one gets a 50% version of them, if you know what I mean. Like they flare up far sooner than someone who's been pulling, 10 years like Taryn Broad.
Sure, absolutely. Marcel Prinz is here. Says, is there a weight limit for the 8-man draw AWE 3? There is. It's 85 kilos and below. So that will be the limit for the event next Sunday here, 23rd of March in Adelaide. Magna K says, hello, boys. Hello to you, Magna. I hope everything is going well with you there. Sam Well is in as well. This evening, gents. Excited to see Marty get the chance to pull. His hook is really strong. It absolutely is. Pukwaji says that he's not a fan of Ryan for some reason. He says that Ryan is a sad little man. Well, thank you, Pukwaji, for your lovely input there. Sam Wells's gut is strength. I don't know what that means, but Brett Coots says, yep, to Ryan's question.
Okay, it's got the legs on to go all the way. Well, we'll see. So Taryn doesn't want him, that's for sure. Who else doesn't want him? SK doesn't want him. Jacob Tuxworth could probably get away with him. Ruben could probably get away with him as the best top rollers in the game in this draw. But if you're a hooker, stay well away from Mr. Vella, it sounds like.
Ooh, and final comment there from Brett Coots, just jumping back in. This should send shudders of fear through the AWE Grand Prix lineup. He can pull in a hook all day. He's my training partner.
Okay. Well, Brett is classically known as having the most endurable hook in all of the oceanic region. I've never seen anyone outlast Brett if it's in a hook. So, so if Brett's saying that, then watch out.
Is Brett saying all of this though, and then putting his money on Taryn? I don't know.
It's so crucial. The draw, the seedings. The seedings are so crucial. Whose day will be wrecked by Mr. Vella? Someone.
So you're saying that the man that's going to have the biggest impact.
Right now, you've got Taryn and Josh are sweating on knowing which side of the draw Mr. Bella's going to be on. Because one of them's going to probably have him first round. One of them will, because I don't know, I'm just guessing he's going to be seated number 7 or something like that. So that would mean that one of those top seeds are going to get him. This is the thing. You're like on paper, you can't seed him, Mr. Vella, any higher because he's brand new. You can't seed him above SK, who's been pulling a decade. You can't seed him above Jacob Tuxworth because he's been pulling too long and is too credited. So, but the reputation, if what Brett says is true, and the photos come to be the fact that this guy in reality might be the winner, but he's gonna wreck. I think Josh Barker's gonna get him first round, and Josh is gonna shit himself. Come on, Josh. Just get your top roll ready. Get your top roll ready, Josh.
So really, the man that has the biggest impact on this event is actually the one that's not pulling. It's the man on screen on the top left-hand portion of the screen right now, the man that's setting the seating. So, so this is well
send your bribes to Matt Connelly gmail.com.
So
I don't know, like, however that seatings go, it's going to be influential because Mr. Vella sounds like an absolute wrecking ball.
Absolutely. Well, so there's a lot to look forward to AWE Grand Prix 3. Before we do go away, and we are going a little bit over time, but it's been fantastic to get your insights, Ryan. I can't let you go without seeking your thoughts on the left arm match between Brett Coots and Rickard Bowen. Left arm, this is for the left arm AWE Heavyweight Championship. Somebody will be walking away with a belt. Brett Coots has already declared he will be his biggest version of himself. He will be coming in at around 117, 118 kilos. Rickard Bowen telegraphed to us that might not be big enough, that he is now walking around eating one meal a day at 132 kilos. So,
we got 132 kilo Rickard now. Goodness me.
We're at a 132 Rickard Bowen. So we've got a left arm war going on there. So it's first to 4. Who have you got?
This is a really big match. This is a really big match. This is Brett has been the number 1 in Australia for left for a very long time. I've watched him destroy Ron Barr in a super match on the left. Brett hasn't had the international exposure that he deserves. He is someone at that is would just scare so many people, and his endurance game is massive. But then we've got Ricard as well. Ricard is this phenom that's turned on that we just saw him make his international debut, where he stomped a 35-year veteran of the sport, Don Underwood. Literally just stomped him, and people are talking about Ricard like he might be a future top 10 in the overall world ranks within a short period of time. That's how the reaction's going. If you've looked at the comments of him stomping Don Underwood, Brett knows about Ricard on right. We know that Ricard got the victory there, but this is the left. This is Brett's domain. The left arm has always been his domain, and I'm not sure what to think. That's exciting because I know Brett is far more conditioned on left. I know that Ricard favours his right, but it's one of those ones where if it gets turned in, I can't see Ricard winning it. But Ricard's tall, Ricard's explosive, and Ricard seems to have a genetic predisposition for the sport better than anyone I've ever met. So is that enough to get through the long time number one champ of Australia on left arm in Brett Coots? I don't know. I don't know who to pick. I feel like if I pick one, I immediately start to regret it and want to pick the other one. So I'm right on the fence on this one. Right on the fence.
And that's what makes it a fantastic heavyweight championship matchup, isn't it? This is exactly what you want. You want to not be entirely sure. You want to be nervous for both athletes. You want to be excited to see the outcome, and of course everybody will get that chance within just a few days of the event. So we'll be here in Adelaide on the 23rd of March. If you do want to see it in person, you do have to register now. So all you need to do is reach out to us, and we will make sure that you can be there. Your name will be on the door. You can be there in person, see the results live, but it will not be broadcast live. It will be released on the Wednesday after the event. So just to keep all of that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So we will have the super match. We will have we will also have the Grand Prix, all being released to the world at the same time, and you'll be able to see it if you can't be there in person within 72 or so hours of the event taking place. So it will be out and live. Well, not quite live, but it will be out and ready for you to see as though we're live very, very shortly after the event.
I've got the bracket here if you want to see the seedings.
Hang on.
The seedings ready?
Yeah,
Tell me.
All right, yeah, let me bring it up.
This is so big. The seedings are so crucial.
Can we leave this till tomorrow night? Maybe this is a podcast in itself.
Okay.
All right.
Go. Cliffhanger.
We'll share straight afterwards and get your thoughts, and we'll relate that to the world tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the seedings for this event, tune in to Arm Wrestling Tonight tomorrow night. We want to thank everybody for joining us in the comments. We want to thank our special guest, very, very special guest, Ryan Bowen, who has joined us live tonight. And we'll see what Ryan's predictions are. We'll release that to the world tomorrow. Maybe Ryan will just do his own video on his own channel and share with the world what he thinks after hearing it. No, he's not going to. So thank you very much to everybody for tuning in again. We can't wait for AWE Grand Prix 3. We can't wait for the left-hand super match between Ricard and Brett to take place, and importantly, we can't wait to share with the world what it is that transpires on the day. So thank you very much to everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing you